work something out.
In the name of the Federation, I demand the release of the humans.
You will not leave this ship alive. Annihilate him. Stop it. Self-destruction.
Get out of here! This ship is gonna...
When it's aided by an ordinary 4th of July spark with its 1936 special effect, thrills the nation of Saturday matinee movie audiences. Take a look above at the screen. You'll see how it appeared way back then. Not quite Star Wars, but we're on our way.
The 1901.
See how the camera captures the effect? Looks like Dave all the way from Wisconsin is playing a little card game. That looks like I'm walking on the wall over here. So, Dave, what card game are you playing right now? Solitaire. Solitaire. I don't think you're playing with a full deck, though. You might notice we chose someone with short hair. If Dave had long hair, it'd be hanging toward the wall. The screen up there, it's so easy to do push-ups this way, kind of. And there's a way we can ruin this illusion. Dave, why don't you hold these socks here, hold them above your head. And when I give you the cue, I'm going to ask you to drop the sock to the floor. Everyone else look to the video screen up above. You'll see what happens when Dave drops the sock. Ready? Drop the socks. Plop. And let's give Dave a great big round of applause for helping us out today. Terrific job. So, you comfortable? Great. We'll have someone backstage to let you down. About an hour. This technique was improved in 1919 for when the clowns roll by. I need for everyone to raise your right hand high above your heads. Even the cool people now, come on.
Moving the length of the ship against a black background. By adding a field of stars, we now create the illusion of the ship flying through space.
And we'd like to thank MGM for loaning the actual Discovery model from 2010.
Demonstration complete.
Well, thank you, Hal. And one of 2010's most exciting scenes involved live actors in a spacewalk. We have our two live actors right now. Greg is up front. Greg's playing our Russian cosmonaut. Greg's been out in space many times. It's quite simple for him. Behind Greg, it's a different story. We have Bev playing our American astronaut. It's her first time out in space. She's a little timid about the whole thing. Now for the setup for the scene you're about to see. You two have just arrived in the spaceship Leonov, establishing an orbit around the planet Jupiter where strange things are happening. Your mission is to reach the other ship, the Discovery, to find out why all its systems have shut down, and all they have to do is perform a very simple spacewalk. And if you watch the monitors in front of you, as well as the live action above your heads, as we combine our actors with background footage of Jupiter, scenes from the movie create a spacewalk live before your eyes. Lights, cameras, action.
Orbit established. Prepare to engage mission.
Oh God.
Do not worry, and most of all, do not look down.
Orlovsky?
Colonel, look ahead of you. Look at Orlovsky.
Have no fear, Colonel. There is nowhere to fall.
Nowhere to fall. Right.
All right, gentlemen, we've got a problem. You better pick up some speed and get to Discovery. There's a moving object and it's coming your way.
There! Meteor, get close! Hurry! Hurry!
I'm drifting!
What's going on out there? Report!
It's Colonel. He's been thrown by the meteor. He's moving away from me.
Direction!
Towards Jupiter. He's moving into the gravitational field. I'm going after him.
Orlovsky, don't jeopardize the mission. If you're caught in the pool, you'll both...
I realize the risks. Hang on!
was known for Doris Day in the movie Midnight Lace. And her close friend in real life, Rock Hudson, lived across the street in the brick apartment building on my side as Macmillan in Macmillan and Wife with Susan St. James, Nancy Walker, and Martha Ray. The street that we'll be passing by on my side of the tram, that is the road Andy, Better Dog Sandy, Columbia's musical Annie. Lionel Richie did a famous soft drink commercial, and Michael Jackson filmed a music video from his upcoming album, Bad. The road we are now on, though, is the road Michael J. Fox needed to go 88 miles per hour to go Back to the Future. Green building on my side of the corner with the red curtains was the malt shop. And at the end of the street is the town movie theater. That was the movie theater he would have crashed into, and was also the movie theater the Gremlins took over to watch Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And on the driver's side, you'll recognize our courthouse as the clock tower. We constructed a clock set piece to fit at the top, and it was from the highest point that Christopher Lloyd harnessed the bolt. To Kill a Mockingbird was also filmed here with Gregory Peck, and a young star making his film debut at the time, Robert Duvall. And The Great Highway to Heaven with Michael Landon. Also, it will appear this fall in TriStar's The Border with Demi Moore. We're going to take a trip through one of our facades. As we do, hold on to small children. Remain seated at all times, but have your cameras handy and set to flash. Strange things have been going on inside.
Kelly Key. Kelly?
Thank you, Sandra. We're now hovering above the wreckage of a crushed L train. The helicopter beside us is searching for... Wait! There's a tramload of people down there. We've got to go down and find them. Attention, people on the tram. You are in danger.
It's King Kong! The tan building on my side of the tram says County Courthouse. Was the bank Clint Eastwood caught his first robber and said, did I fire 6 shots or was it only 5? You have to ask yourself, do you feel lucky? Well, do you buck? Then Warner Brothers' Dirty Harry. On my side of the tram, Boston Police Building. The bottom of the steps is where Bette Midler and Shelley Long got into a fight and Touchstone's outrageous fortune. And also on my side of the tram, the road perpendicular to the road we are on, you'll notice that the left-hand side is a business district, right-hand side a residential neighborhood. That way it can be filmed from 2 angles, and it appears as 2 completely different streets. Another movie trick. The road we are now on at either end of the street, the road is curved, and that gives the illusion that the road continues on. This street was also Old Chicago in the Sting, Kansas City for Warner Brothers City Heat, with Burt Reynolds and Clint Eastwood, Los Angeles in Earthquake, and London for an episode of Murder, She Wrote. This street also appears in theaters everywhere, in both Dragnet and Harry and the Hendersons. We're going to leave this part of our back line, cross over to the the other section called The Kid from Kansas, about a murder on a banana plantation. And although this bridge appears to be a little rickety, a little creaky, I assure you it's remarkably safe. Matter of fact, the beams supporting this bridge are so sturdy. Wait a minute. The beam just fell off the bridge. I don't believe this. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any excess baggage, now is the time to toss it overboard. Sir, put your wife down. Whenever you remain very still as we drive over, I'm sure we'll be comfortable. It's way over here in the middle. No, on my side of the middle, I'm not kidding, Ron. It's just getting wet. What is this? Wait, oh, Ron, on my side, the beam is off the bridge. Ron, look, I think we better telephone this in. I'm not kidding. The beam is off the bridge over here in the middle. Right there in the middle.
Se está componiendo el puente. ¡Ah!
Across that bridge, Bigfoot chased the $6 million man and the bionic woman across in the 70s. Streets Afire with Michael Pare and Diane Lane. The film occurred during evening hours, but a great amount of the filming was during the daylight, so they hung the fabric across the top of the facades, down the sides, and they could film at all hours of the day. Beyond our facades, most of those trees are part of the Lakeside Country Club, originated with the help of W.C. Fields, along with some of Hollywood's greatest stars. One celebrity who did not belong there was Groucho Marx, because one time he said he wouldn't belong to any club which would have him as a member. And the tan buildings on the right with the round top, and beyond that are NBC studios, where newlywed Johnny Carson tapes The Tonight Show. That's also where they do the Emmy Award-winning Santa Barbara. And beyond NBC are Walt Disney Productions, along with their sister company, Touchstone Pictures.
All right. All right. Let me see your face. Come here. Eat it. Let's see your face.
Marco, come here.
Hey, look at me. No.
Okay, y'all having fun?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you doing here? Taking a break?
Yep.
Okay, did you see King Kong?
Yep. The bridge almost fell down too.
Nah, it was a fake bridge.
It was a real bridge.
It was a fake bridge.
¿Tú crees que en este pedacito donde están todos estos buildings aquí se me hacen los acting y no tienen nada adentro, nomás frente?
¿Verdad? Puro empty building.
Empty buildings, don't even got background or nothing to them. How do they do when it rains?
Ponen una big cover arriba y la hacen y la detienen.
Mama, you're on camera.
Estamos arriba de Universal Studios tomando un break, tomando Coca-Cola. Todo lo que ven es donde es parte de, ¿cómo se llama aquí? A donde hacen el Tonight Show, Burbank, California. Ahí son las oficinas de los estudios de televisión.
También. Allá arriba. Ya.
Okay. No, Marco, dispara la pistola, Marco.
Also imagine Maximilian Schell skiing down this road. Well, that's exactly what he did in the motion picture Counterpoint. But it wasn't Maximilian Schell doing the stunt, it was a stuntman in his place. And that stuntman was a little bit too bold and a little bit too proud to tell everyone that he just didn't know how to ski. All for the part. But as it stood, she was a little taller than 5 feet in those ruby slippers. She had a woman singing voice, Maurice Olivier. And Kirk Douglas, you might remember hundreds of Roman soldiers marching through this area. They weren't really Roman soldiers, actually there were hundreds of Los Angeles area college students hired as extras in that motion picture. Now before we left Crown Plaza, Jim and I were told that there was about a 50-50 chance of rain in this area. I don't know if they meant by that on such a beautiful Southern California day, but you never know when you come out to this part of our backlot. It looks a little wet on the ground, but wait a minute, what's that? Wait, now I know what they meant by a 50-50 chance of rain. It's raining on Jim's side of the tram, but it's dry on my side of the tram. Now sometimes we have flash floods in this area. I doubt one can happen on such a nice day, but if you focus your cameras on the top of the hill, you never know with all this rain coming down. Wait a minute, Jim, what's that? It's a flash flood. It's a clear car. Just clear out of there. Look out, watch out, everybody. Oh. Wait, it's got the tree. Look out. Oh.
The sprinkles right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you just experienced is a perfect example of movie making magic. And to create the flash flood, we released about 10,000 gallons of water at the top of the hill. It comes streaming down the mountain and recycles itself back to the top in about 90 seconds. The rain is created by tiny sprinklers on the top of these trees. This is exactly what we used for the movie The River, starring Mel Gibson and Sissy Spacek. It's also what we did for the movie Earthquake, starring Charlton Heston. Now, back in the early days of filmmaking, rain just didn't look very real when you saw it in the movie theaters. So what they did was they mixed the water with a little bit of milk. So can you imagine Gene Kelly singing in the milk? Well, that's what he did. Now, I hope everybody's brushed up on their Spanish, because right now we're in Old Mexico. You might recognize this area from episodes of Simon and Simon, starring Jameson Parker and Gerald McCraney, who was also seen as the ancient town of Jerusalem in the TV miniseries Masada, starring Peter O'Toole. We also used it for the Orion picture, The Three Amigos, starring Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, and Martin Short. But right now we're crossing the border back west. Off to my side of the train, you'll see this library stable marked horses boarded. That's where Mae West shot down a rope and saved W.C. Fields from being hung in the movie My Little Chickadee. Now right now we're in an area called 6 Points, Texas. If you look around, the reason this area is called 6 Points, Texas is because there are 6 different blocks all converging into one central area. Now each one of these blocks can be its own standing town with its own bank, its own sheriff's station, and its own saloon. Now back in the early days of filmmaking, Carl Laemmle, Universal's founder, used to set up bleachers in front of 6 Points, Texas. People could come and pay 25 cents, receive a box lunch, and watch their favorite stars making silent films. Some of the top stars who appeared in 6 Points, Texas include Tom Mix, Tex Ritter, Audie Murphy, and the great John Wayne. Now here at Universal, we don't throw anything away. You never know when you might need it for an upcoming production. You'll see that off to my side of the tram. Many of these old Army tanks and props, those were used in the movie MacArthur, starring Gregory Peck. Now there are many various props throughout the area on our backlot which you're going to recognize, which we save and we may use for upcoming productions in both television and motion picture film. Off to my side of the tram, that large shopping cart you see there was used in The Incredible Shrinking Woman, starring Lily Tomlin. And off to my side of the tram, that large riverboat set. That was built for the 1953 film Mississippi Gambler, starring Tyrone Power, and then was used for the TV series Riverboat, starring a young actor named Burt Reynolds. Off to my side of the tram, you'll see this lake in front of our riverboat. You might know that this lake is the only Pacific Ocean that McHale's Navy and Ernest Borgnine ever knew. Now there's a rumor that McHale's Navy left some mines in this area, but I doubt they could come up, so you just want to ignore them. Off to my side of the trail, on the other side of the lake is where we did filming for the TV movie Gilligan's Island. But right now, it seems like we're being blocked by our lake, this large body of water in front of us. But I seem to remember back in the 1956 film, The Ten Commandments. You remember that film, Jim? Starring Charlton Heston, all he had to do was walk on top of the hill, hold his staff high in the air, and command the waters to part. But we do things just a little bit differently here at Universal Studios, and I need all of your help to do it. So on the count of 3, I need everybody to participate and say those magic words, Steven Spielberg, so we can magically part our waters. So if everybody's ready, here we go. 1, 2, 3, Steven Spielberg, and the waters should magically part. As the waters open up, it works every time. That's right. Now, the waters first parted back in the 1923 silent film, The Ten Commandments. Now, to do that, they had a block of gelatin. They split the gelatin in half. They used gas jets to push the gelatin back together again and ran the film back in reverse. In the 1956 version starring Charlton Heston, what they did was they used matte paintings along with footage of actors walking along the dirt road into one I hope everybody stayed dry. Off to the driver's side of the train, they had a large house on the hill. It's also seen as a golf course in the movie The Sting, starring Robert Redford and Paul Newman, and it was seen as a cemetery in many Alfred Hitchcock productions. Now, to create a cemetery, we put styrofoam tombstones out on the lawn. Now, we were told that Alfred Hitchcock put the names of his worst critics on the heads of those tombstones. Now, I hope everybody has their passports with you, because right now we're entering Little Europe. This area can be dressed like any European town we want, simply by changing the names out front and the signs out in front of the doors. Now, a few years ago, part of Little Europe caught on fire. And before calling the fire department, we called our film crew. We now have coverage of a European town, actually. Now, part of this area was recently dressed for an episode of Murder, She Wrote, starring Angela Lansbury. Little Europe was Best Picture All Quiet on the Western Front, starring Lou Ayres. It was also dressed for the movie History of the World Part 1, starring Mel Brooks. It was dressed like France. If you look down on the ground, you'll notice those cobblestones. That's not real cobblestone. It's actually cement molded together to look like cobblestones. Off to my side of the tram, you'll see our Court of Miracles, built for the 1919 film Miracle Man, starring Lon Chaney. Now, since then, many of Universal's top monsters have graced our Court of Miracles, such as The Hunchback of Notre Dame, starring Lon Chaney, Dracula, starring Bela Lugosi, and then The Monster of Frankenstein, which was played by a young actor named William Henry Pratt, who thought his name didn't sound scary enough to be The Monster of Frankenstein, so he changed it to Boris Karloff. And Boris Karloff also appeared in another movie here, The Tower of London. On the driver's side of the tram, you'll see the castle from the movie The Tower of London, which starred Boris Karloff and another young actor named Vincent Price. After that movie, Vincent Price swore to everyone that he would never do another horror picture again. He went on to do 123. On the driver's side of the tram, you'll also see a side view of our castle, which was used as an amusement park in an episode of Murder, She Wrote, starring Angela Lansbury. On the driver's side of the tram, many of those props and planes you see there were used in the Steven Spielberg film 1941. Right now, off to my side of the tram, we get a final picture-taking opportunity of our riverboat and our riverboat lake. And as we turn this as the smallest congregation in the world. Now, right now, we're traveling down John Wayne Road. This was used in many of our Western films. On my side of the tram, those doors look a little bit smaller than normal. That was to make the Western actors in those films appear much larger than they actually were up on the silver screen. On the driver's side of the tram, many of those doors look a little bit larger than normal. That was to make the women in those Westerns, those actresses, appear a little bit smaller and a little bit more petite when you saw them in the movie theaters or on your TV set. On to my side of the tram, you'll see that barn marked Feed and Grain. That was home of Francis the Talking Mule. And if you're wondering how they got Francis to talk, what they did was they lined the roof of his mouth with peanut butter. They simply shot him opening and closing his mouth, and they added sound in a little later. On my side of the tram, you'll see many of those wagon props. Those were used in the wagon train Laramie and the Virginian. But right now, we're coming up on the small town of Amity, terrorized by the great white shark in the motion picture Jaws. As we come up to Jaws Lake, I'd like to remind everyone to please keep your arms and legs inside the tram at all times, because if you keep your arms and legs out a little too long, they might come back just a little too short. We had one woman who kept her arms out a little too long. She's now a teacher at UCLA, of course. She teaches shorthand. Aww. Now, I know they posted those no fishing signs throughout the studio lot. I don't think that man read them. It said, beware of sharks, no fishing. That man shouldn't be fishing there. Wait a minute, Jim, there's a shark in that water. You see him? That's no flipper, is right. Excuse me, sir, you're in danger. Get out of the water. We lost another fisherman. They just don't read the signs. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've been trying to catch this shark for the past week now. We've attached some bait to that yellow float on the end of the pier, so keep your eye on the yellow float and we'll see if we catch us a shark. He's got the bait. He's got the pier too. Hold on, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, please make sure that the person who was sitting next to you is still there. Off to my side of the tram, you get another excellent view of our Jaws Lake. You can see the only shark in the world that can do the backstroke. Now you'll notice the two boats in the water. Now both of those boats were used for the original Jaws. The boat on the far side of the lake underneath the hotel sign, that was Ben Gardner's boat in the original Jaws. You might remember his head popping up at the bottom of that boat. The other boat, the Orca, that was the boat where Louis Schreiner and Richard Dreyfuss went in to catch the great white shark in the original Jaws. On the driver's side of the tram, you get another excellent view of our Jaws Lake, which is seen as the quiet town of Cabot Cove, Maine, the hit CBS series Murder, She Wrote starring Angela Lansbury. Now on the driver's side of the tram, you get a view of that film where Mark Amity Island with that girl on the beach in the original Jaws motion picture. And she was the first person eaten by the great white shark. Now, you might remember that opening episode, that shark attack scene of that movie. To create the shark attack scene, what they did was they attached a harness with rope to her waist. They had underwater scuba divers pulling on that rope and harness to make it look like she was being attacked. Well, they must have gotten their signals crossed because they pulled at the exact same time and broke 3 of Chrissy's ribs. When you see those screams of pain from Chrissy in the original Jaws, those are real screams of pain from 3 broken ribs. Now, off to my side of the tram, you'll see one of the most popular houses here on our lot. That's Miss Mona's Chicken Ranch from the best little whorehouse in Texas, starring Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds. Now, first considered for the parts in that movie were Shirley MacLaine and Willie Nelson before they gave the parts to Burt and Dolly. Now, that house is different from other houses on our lot because it is a complete house. We do both exterior and interior scenes for that motion picture, so when you see it this summer, see whether or not you can tell the difference whether we're in the Bahamas or whether we're here on our lot. Now, it seems as if we've just about reached the top. We've reached 10,950 feet. The roads are slick with ice and snow, and it's far too dangerous to continue without chains. Bring the chains. It's too dangerous, too cold. All right, we're going to go without the chains. No guts, no glory. We're going to have to go through an avalanche ice tunnel right now. You know, sometimes we do have avalanches in this area, and it's very dangerous. So I need everyone to be very, very quiet. Shh, not a sound. We don't want to start an avalanche. Shh. Achoo, wait, who sneezed? Hold on, everybody. You've just been through our ice tunnel, one of Universal's most innovative special effects. Now, if you were wondering, we did not tilt at all. That process is called Sense Around and won many awards in the art of special effects in many Alfred Hitchcock films. But right now, you can look off to my side of the tram and get a great view of our Jaws or Revenge Lake. You'll also get to see many of our employees park cars. My car's parked down there as well. Also be able to see our back lot and the San Fernando Valley off to my side of the tram and get a great picture of that. Now this is roughly the same view that E.T. the extraterrestrial had when he first landed here on Earth. Just at the bottom of this hill is where little Elliot, played by Henry Thomas, first made contact with a being from outer space. Now, E.T. is just one shining example of the magic here in Hollywood, and we hope after your day on the Universal Studios tour, you'll experience just a little bit of magic yourself. We hope now that you have a better understanding of what goes on behind the scenes and how we bring everything to life in front of you in your living room, on your TV set, or in the movie theaters. But right now, we're going to be taking you back to the Entertainment Center, where you'll have an opportunity to see our 5 live shows. You might want to see our Miami Vice Action Spectacular, featuring 50 stunts in 15 amazing minutes, including a jet ski, a motorboat, and an exploding helicopter. Then you might want to get to see our Animal Actors stage, where you can get a bird's eye view of a breakdancing chimpanzee.
Break.
Where's he going?
Great job, guys. Real nice. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear it for our stuntman. Okay, guys, thank you. Reset if you would. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Miami Vice Action Spectacular, otherwise known as Club Perilous. My name is Al Mikashan, and I'm your director as we go behind the scenes to show you stunts and special effects that we filmed for hit shows like Miami Vice. And we have a lot of stunts left to show you today. But before we get started, realize that when we do a movie, we shoot it one scene at a time. We don't shoot it as one continuous story like you see when you turn on your television set. We move around to a lot of different, well, as you can see right now by our exotic set. We've taken our cast and crew to an island off the coast of Florida where our heroes Crockett and Tubbs are following a hot tip that leads them right here to the hideout of a Caribbean crime boss and his sleazy band of smugglers. And sleazy, ugly band of smugglers. Hey, come on, watch it. All right, as you can probably guess, this whole place is a powder keg, just waiting to go off. Keep your cameras focused on that shed over there as we begin our next scene. It's booby-trapped with explosives, ready to go off as soon as somebody opens the door. So stand by, let me check our actors to see if we're ready. Gentlemen, are you in your places? All right, here we go. Looks like we're ready to start shooting. Oh, hey! Hey, what are you doing? I didn't mean start shooting off the explosions. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. That's Hank back up there in that booth, and he's in charge of all the special effects we're going to be showing you today. Gets a little trigger happy around this time of the day. All right, Hank, how about queuing up some atmosphere effects for us? Some smoke out of the smokehouse, and we'll get started. Stand by, guys. Here we go. Now, as you saw a moment ago, our stunt doubles for Crockett and Tubbs have managed to ruffle some feathers here in Flamingo Land. And now in this next scene, they're going to move in and collect some hard evidence. But before they do, our band of smugglers have other ideas. Something like a dynamite surprise party. So stand by, everybody. Here we go. Cue special effects. Cameras rolling. Gentlemen, give me action. do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Can we print that? All right, we'll do some excellent jet skiing for you today. Reset if you would, guys. Some real good shots, because your photographs are going to be just like motion picture stills of our Miami Vice set. And that's because you're sitting exactly where we would position our cameras if we were going to be filming this. And by that I mean, this section over here, you would be camera number 1. Center section, you would be camera number 2. And all you people over here saluting me, you would be camera number 3. Now, that's what we call in the business a 3-camera shoot. We often use more than 1 camera when we are filming, so we can get 3 different angles of all the stunts that are going on. Now, before we begin filming, I, as the director, plan the stunts we're going to do, and then we rehearse the stunts without special effects of exploded hair. Okay? Good. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our professional stunt people are so well trained that nobody dares move a muscle until I, as their director, give the word action. Hold it, Dave, hold it. Didn't mean action, action. I was telling the people what I would say when it'd be time to do the action. I didn't mean action, go ahead and run. Oh, you guys, too much coffee today, all right? Relax. Reset the rescue scene from the top. Hank, how about you and I going over the tropical sound effects that we worked on? Tropical birds that we're hearing, and turn this back into a nice, peaceful island. Tropical bird, Hank, please. I asked for tropical, I get comical from the sky. What are you doing? Forget that bird. Eric! Good shot, Eric. Thank you very much. Now we can continue on with our next scene. Crockett's going to attempt to rescue his partner, Tubbs, who's been captured by the bad guys. And playing our Sonny Crockett today, located high above your heads over there, is Mr. Carl Kennedy. All right, Carl, let's go through our 3-step safety check. Number 1, safety attached, stand in place. Number 2, carriage free so you can make the slide. And number 3, you have your sunglasses on? Yeah, okay, good. All right, gentlemen, stand by for the rescue of Tubbs by Crockett. Hank, cue special effects for me. All right, gentlemen, stand by for my action!
Leti, ¿te gustó? Marco. Marco. Marco Antonio, ¿te gustó? ¿Ah?
Dijo que sí. I just had those aren't it? Those are not. I know. All right here. All right there. You have some too, Lexi. Right there, and right here. Right here, Mom. What I have purple. I mean, what I have chicken mom. It's right there.
Marco, get it, Marco. Leti, agárralo, Leti. Okay, turn around this way. Thank you.
Thank you. In 5. You like it? Cuidado. Y este es el carro que nos rentaron. It's a tram, Cutlass, whatever. Okay, go. So today is the 30th. Hoy estamos el 30 de agosto y vamos a entrar al freeway number 5, que nos va a llevar hasta San Diego, California. Acabamos de desayunar. Wait, which way? Oh, this way. Okay. Acabamos de desayunar y vamos al... ¿cómo se llama?
Mira, the people are gonna get dizzy.
No, ya vamos al freeway, ya entramos al freeway. Esta era nomás la entrada del freeway. Y ahora sí.
Get on the far lane.
I know. Estamos en el freeway número 5 que nos lleva a San Diego hacia el norte. Okay. Aquí está esto también es conocido como el Santa Ana Freeway. Es en ese freeway casi nos lleva para todo a la ciudad de Los Ángeles, que está dividida en varias regiones como Anaheim, Santa Ana, San Bernardino y otros más. Aquí llevamos más del al centro del freeway. I can't help it. Ok, como ven,
Traffic jam.
traffic jam, tal vez sea enfrente. Este freeway debía de ir uno recio, pero hay tanto tráfico que en realidad no es tan recio como se esperaba. A veces sí, pero ahorita como son las 9:30, pues siempre es tiempo de mucho tráfico y trocotas y todo esto. Esperamos llegar a San Francisco. No, vamos, ¿cómo que San Francisco? No, vamos a San Diego. Esperamos llegar a San Diego como en aproximadamente hora y media. Y vamos a ir a SeaWorld, donde están los delfines. Ya pasamos más atrás. Ayer fuimos a ¿cómo se llama? Universal Studios, que está mucho más atrás, como unas 30 millas aproximadamente, y también nos fuimos en este freeway, pero nos fuimos hacia el sur, hacia el otro lado. Ahí pasamos la ciudad de Los Ángeles, downtown Los Ángeles, claro que todo por el freeway, y así como Anaheim. Y bueno,